should have brought Jerry Jones, Stephen Jones, and Jason Witten to this protest in Austin. Des followed it up with another tweet saying he wasn't calling them out, but said that it would show them what, quote, unity really looks like. So, Shannon, what did you read into this?
Des calling them out. I don't know how, Skip, I don't know how you deduce any other thing other than that right there, Skip, baby. Because
called them out for what exactly?
In 2017, when this was going on, it was Jerry and Steven, and I believe Jason Witten. Jason Witten carries a lot of weight, Skip. You remember T.O. had a problem with Jason Witten way back in, 2008, 2009? So 10 years later, he's captain. He's had that captaincy since the inception of they can put the C on the chest. He's had it. And so he's saying, because this is what Jerry said back in 2017, we cannot in any way give the implication that we tolerate disrespecting the flag. Good well, Skip, it was never about the flag. But if I could keep you thinking it's about the flag, and then somebody else was trumpeting that from a big old, beautiful White House with a megaphone saying it's disrespecting the flag. And so guess who else? Jerry, Stephen, and Jason Witten. Skip, it's not an accident that he mentioned those three. You think that's an accident? Absolutely not. And he said, this is not a policy change. This is a change of heart. Oh, Skip. Not a policy change, but a change. Hey, he tried to say, y'all need to have a John Q moment. Have a change of heart in what you think and what you feel and what you believe. This is the time. Like I said, Skip, it's really convenient. Now, Skip, do this. So I believe there's what was calling these guys out, Skip. Because you're talking about
Gerald, Jamel,
obviously one of the two most powerful men,
Marcelo,
probably in Dallas,
Majors.
and one of the most recognizable faces, one of the most respected players in Cowboys history, and Jason Witten. So it was not an accident. And he says it'd have been really good for the cause if you guys show up. And it's not a policy change. It's a change of heart. Come on, Skip.
So here's what I want to make sure about.
Okay.
Is Des suggesting that Jerry, Stephen, and Jason Witten have a racist mindset? Is that where he's going with this?
I don't, Skip.
See,
this notion, and I know people like, well, Jerry loves his black players. Yeah, Jerry loves his black players that can help win games. George Floyd and Tamir Rice and Alton Sterling weren't going to help Jerry Jones win no games.
Nope.
So we need you to have empathy for guys that can help you, Skip. It says a lot about a man that cares about someone that can do absolutely nothing for him. Michael Irvin could win games. Zeke Elliott could win games. Dez Bryant, Charles Haley, Deion Sanders, Emmitt Smith. Those guys can win games. What about the man that can do nothing for Jerry Jones? Does he care about those black bodies?
No, he is, as he says, a businessman. That's what he is. Bottom line, businessman. If it affects the bottom line, I'm out. If I'm going to lose advertisers over this, I'm sorry, I'm out. We're standing for the anthem. If you say it's okay, if the advertisers are on board now, I'm okay. You can do whatever you want to. It's about big business.
It's about the money.
Okay, so just for the record, when it has come time for me to criticize Jerry Jones on the show, I have dropped the hammer on him. And there are times when he has been very unhappy with me, and I am just fine with that.
Q in the house.
But I am here to tell you, let's go to racist. As I've said before, I spent literally hundreds of hours around Jerry Jones in researching 3 books.
You know
all 3 books had Big Jerry in them that I wrote about the Dallas Cowboys.
You ready to
so
get rid
I
of
was
him?
with him in many off-the-cuff situations, hanging around, just shooting the breeze.
You know what?
Not one time, not one.
Skip, sit your ass down. Hello, friends. Mark Holmes here, of course, with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo, as well as Joe Bear in the house. And as always, I want to thank you guys for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, this literally does not work. So let's get open for business here, and let's wake up my football guys. Wake up, guys. Wake up. There you go. Wake up. Okay. How's everybody doing tonight? How you doing? No, seriously. I'm being serious here. This has been crazy times that we have been going through. You know, it's weird because I remember being at the Super Bowl, seeing Kansas City winning the Super Bowl for the first time in 50 years. And ever since that time, everything has literally just been going downhill. If you had told me that all these things were going to happen at the same time, I would have said you're crazy. But what I want you to do is, and shout out now I'm working a little bit more, expanding this thing. On my regular Facebook page, I've got this being shared too. So we are actually spending, I'm running low on disk space. I need to delete some stuff in here. Hang on for 1 second here. Hold up. Weedon boys, hold up. This thing actually records everything. And so when you end up doing a broadcast and it has literally an hour at a whack, and this has got all my shows. Don't want to get rid of the draft show because that's us giving Philly 500 the business. Have you guys noticed that how Philly 500 is going crazy? That he is literally just saying all kinds of crap. He is so pumped for this season. It's just like, dude, you might want to save some of that energy for the season. I mean, it's not my place to tell you to chill out, but Philly 500, you need to chill out. So anyway, back to what they're saying. I will say the NFL is like any business. Skip did have it right. It's about business out there. Oh, shout out to everybody who's actually on here also on Facebook. If you're on Facebook, it's hard for me to keep up with the comments on Facebook from Henry Smith, Joe Manny, Hernandez, Jose, Eddie, and Oscar. It's actually better if you actually check out and join in the live stream to get the comments up, because I got the comments in real big type. Because see, I'm old, and it's hard for me to look over here and see, okay, Oscar's joined. Hey, what's up, Oscar? Okay, and I see Jim. So I can't look down there. I got to look straight ahead because the camera's right there and all the comments are there. Philly 500 owns eggnog and nothing else. Oh, but see, when they lose, he ain't going to get eggnog this year. He ain't getting no eggnog. That's part of the bet, man. I want to take something that he values. I want to take his life's blood. And it probably will take a few pounds from him, too, because you can't drink eggnog the way he does by the gallon and think that it ain't going to make your ass fat. I just can't. Benefit Brazil, man. Shout out to you, man. Be careful with the corona down there, man. I know it's blowing up down there right now. Dan the Man Cunningham, how you doing? Ryan Kirk, 49ers and Rocket. Man, we got more 49er fans. I'm trying to understand why. I ain't mad at you. We all football family and everything, so welcome to the show. So when it comes to the protest, and it was amazing because today I got a person who sent me an email, and the only thing was, in headlines was, if the players kneel, I ain't watching. No comment. That was just a headline that he put on there. It's like, okay, I hear what you're saying, but I don't know why you're sending it to me, because I ain't got no control over it. I don't. I mean, it's not like I can say, oh my God, he's going to protest. Okay, I'm going to tell all the NFL players, you can't kneel because such and such is not going to watch. Well, I'm going to tell you.
It's not in their contracts for them to stand. See, the NBA can't do it because it's not in their contracts.
Well,
their contracts to stand. So if they want to kneel on the protest, unless it's in their contracts, they can't technically.
But see, basically, Roger Goodell is.
I'm just saying that.
You when you hear Drew Brees' comments and everything else, he realized it wasn't about disrespecting the military. And I don't want to get into too much politics because I know it turns people off. But see, here's what everybody needs to understand. Because see, you got to understand, it doesn't matter if you're black, white, or Hispanic. The real divide is haves and haves not. What they've done is, all of us that don't have money, they've kind of pitted us against each other. So we're fighting for the crumbs. So you do realize that this is where it's crazy. They say we're in a recession right now, right? Recession. Recession means it's bad times, right? That means that you're getting laid off. You're not getting money. We're getting a $1,200 stimulus check, right? Which, if you're lucky, it lasted 2 or 3 weeks. Here's a crazy thing. Let's say you work for Hertz Rental Car, right? You're employed there. You've been there all these years. You've been renting them cars. You've been running up in there, making sure they're clean and everything else. And guess what? You sitting at home because people aren't going to airports and traveling. You understand? It's a recession. I don't have my job. Now, hopefully you got $1,200 from the government, right? And we've been hearing car rental companies hurting because of the coronavirus. And that business model has changed, right? Right? Okay, so that's changed. Here's what's crazy. Hertz is saying, we can't pay our bills. We're going to declare bankruptcy. Right? They're declared bankruptcy. If you, let's say you took and said, well, you know what? They're going to declare bankruptcy. If you took $10,000, if you had $10,000, let me hold something for it. Let me hold something. But if you had taken $10,000 and bought their stock the next day, just 2 days later, you'd have $125,000. Their stock is now selling for more money than it's ever sold. Ever sold. So they're going to walk away, not have to pay the bills, get stimulus money from the government, and now their stock is worth a freaking fortune. While the people who are working at Hertz, they laid off. They're not going to reap the benefits of that. So that's the thing that we all fighting down here for crumbs. and the billionaires, they've made an extra $565 billion over the last 3 months. So I just want to put that out there as we go through and we keep fighting and everything else, and understand that this stuff is all police brutality and stuff it's kind of like you get cancer. Best way to fight cancer is to get it before you get cancer. Find out the things that cause cancer and keep away from it. You understand what I'm saying? See, like for me, I had the flesh-eating bacteria in my knee. Reality is, had I gone to the doctor on Wednesday, I could have gotten some antibiotics then. Couple $100 doctor appointment, I've been good. Instead, I had to wait 3 days because I didn't have health insurance. I go to the hospital, it's full blown. And it turns around and costs me $73,000. And see, this is where it is with our situation now. We are more reactive than proactive. And that's what we got to get to be. Instead of when shit happens dealing with it, let's deal with problems before they become something big. Okay? All right. So let's get back to football here, because I'm ready to talk. The NFL has gone through, and they're putting out guidelines on figuring how they're going to be able to get players there at the facilities and work it out. Okay? So here's the thing. They've already said, listen, if you're in the facilities, indoors, in facilities, you got to wear a mask. I want you to take a look at my set right here, okay? Because I actually built these modeling after the stadium's lockers. They're not exactly. I couldn't find the combination locks like they have and stuff. And I couldn't afford the wood that's imported from Africa either, okay? This is just regular old mahogany, okay? So it's not, okay. It looks a little bit like the lockers, okay? But you can imagine, I got me here and I got Dak Prescott there and Zeke Elliott here. But this is basically the size and spacing of most of the lockers, okay? So what they're saying is, well, you're going to have to keep 6 feet apart. So that means every other locker basically going to need to be vacant or moved apart. Okay? It'll be easier when it becomes the season, when you're down to the 55-man roster and, you have just the practice squad guys. The beginning of the summer workouts, you got over 90 players in there. That's where it's going to be. We need another space to have everybody in there if we're going to have to keep social distancing. We don't know where we're going to be, but here's the thing that's kind of crazy. Today is the 8th of June already. The 8th of June, my God. It was freaking winter when we started social distancing. Damn. It's the 8th of June. The 8th of June. July 15th, the Cowboys have to have Dak Prescott's deal done or he's playing on a franchise tag. Normally, training camps start in the 20s in July, depending on when your first game is, or if you're playing, like, if you have a new coach, you get a couple extra days to start earlier. If you're playing at the Hall of Fame game, you're going to be practicing a little bit early.
Oh, they said rookies too.
Philip.
The rookies coming early too.
Okay, Philip. Philly 500 said in his live stream that Cowboy fans are devil worshippers. So let me ask you, Philip, do you worship the devil? I don't worship the devil. And how many times, let's be real now. Let's be real now. How many times has Philly 500 been right? Huh? Seriously. Are you really going to take the word of Philly 500? I mean, come on, man. Come on, man. Seriously? Seriously. You going to take the word of this guy? This guy who right now says that they got so much speed now and that they're okay not taking it.
What? Look at What? He's at this. Did the screen freeze? Is it still light? Look. Looking for the corona. Oh my God! Look at this! Wow, that has to be the stupidest thing I've ever. Oh my God! Are you're gonna take a quarterback back in the second? Oh my God! Are you kidding me? What did you just trade Carson then? Are you kidding me? You just took a quarterback in the second round. This team is so good.
You can't find this kind of funny, man.
They don't need to take. They don't need anything else, right? They're so good. They don't. This has to be for some sort of trade. There has to be something to this. This don't make any sense. Eagles UK, thank you for the super chat. I'm sorry. This is stupidity at its finest. There has to be something else going on.
Yeah. So you gonna take the word of this guy? Come on, man. Come on, man. Yeah, seriously. Seriously. Eagles. I gotta tell you. In other news, Delvin Cook has basically told the Vikings, kiss my ass, give me my cash. Excuse my language. How you doing, Miss Jackie? How you doing? Basically, Delvin Cook says, until I get a decent offer, I'm not working out. I ain't showing up, and I'm not going to do jack. And you got to think, Melvin Gordon is kind of like, bro. Bro. That ain't going to happen. Because Melvin Gordon tried that same thing, and it didn't work out. And see, the problem now is that, see, the NFL, they're wise, okay? This is where I go back to the whole, anthem protest. Right now, everybody's getting on board and basically saying, you know what, we support the protests, the marches. Businesses now, where before it was kind of like, oh, hell no. And that's where the NFL kind of said, wait, businesses, we're losing our sponsors. We're losing our sponsors, so no, we're going to have to go on the side of money because that's what it's all about. The NFL is about making money. They know how to do it better than anybody else. And the political environment was against kneeling. Now, there's going to be some people that are going to be mad about kneeling. There always is. But I can guarantee you it won't be as many as there were before. And if it ends up being that we are still dealing with the coronavirus and still kind of having the social distance and everything else, and you don't have the other sports and stuff like that, and we've been locked up for as long as we have, good luck at saying, I'm not going to watch football. Seriously. We haven't had sports for 3 months. You're telling me that on principle, you ain't going to watch football? Come on, man. Who you kidding? You may say you're not going to watch it, but I guarantee you're going to. You're going to. You know you're going to, okay? It's ridiculous. But you know what? Like I've gone through in here, I've been so worried about what to say and trying not to offend anybody that literally it has made me sick. And that's a difficult thing being a black person because you don't want to piss people off. And what I've realized is, I think it was Linda Cohn said, listen, if I piss off some people with what I'm doing, then I don't need them. And so I kind of gotten that a little bit there. Sorry, no one in the crowd. Well, yeah, you're probably 100% right, which also brings us to now the second point. The NFL currently is working with the NFLPA. They recognize that even if we do have crowds, chances are we're not going to have full stadiums. So they're definitely working with the Chargers because they understand about not having a full stadium. So they realize that teams like the Cowboys, that usually it's a cash cow because we all go there, we tailgate, we're buying plenty of beers and, hanging in the club, getting tipsy, we're buying jerseys and hats and everything else. So you got the parking attendants, you got the food vendors, you got the cleanup crews, you've got all of that stuff that they won't be generating about $600+ million. You realize we spend that kind of money, right? We spend like $600+ million just at the stadium. So the NFL recognizes that we're going to be losing some of that revenue for next year. There's not much they can do about it. But they recognize that this is more of a hiccup as opposed to, football is the devil and everybody just decided they're never going to watch again. What's going to happen is those people who aren't able to go to the games, they're still going to watch. So what you're going to see is you're actually going to be in a position of even more leverage when you go through and renegotiate the contract. You understand that viewership on television will go through the roof. And you've got to think that right now, the television stations are realizing that too, that if they know they're going to have football games, NFL games, and that the college season is going to be shortened, they're going to play the hell out of the NFL. Well, Rivera, great question. What they're talking about, they're doing, okay, here's the thing. Again, the NFL has more money than some countries. And you can believe they've already been talking well over a month ago about making, what is Oakley, sunglasses. They do the visors now, right? But they're looking at being able to make visors that basically will use some of the same material like you have for a mask. I don't know how, but it'll be a way that they can help to keep down, I don't know how it's gonna work, but they're working on that in the same way they've worked on the helmets that basically they absorb the hits. It's kind of like one of those, it's like the Matrix and shit. When you get hit on the helmet, that it absorbs it and all. So they're working on different ways to keep that. But you didn't get a live notification, really? I was wondering because I don't seem to have like as many people as usual in here, and I thought it's because I pissed off a lot of people. But sometimes YouTube kind of it's crazy sometimes, and they usually only do like 3 notifications in a day. And I think I did one, video when I was talking about Dak Prescott. But it's all good because now you got Stephen, you got less people here, so I can definitely see your comments. They're not moving as fast as usual. They're definitely going to figure out because it's too much money that they're going to be able to capture. When you start realizing that basketball is basically going to have an 8-game season with only 22 teams. Well, thank you, Frank. I appreciate that. That they're going to be able to suck up all the oxygen in the room with football. So come hell or high water, they're going to play. Now, on the flip side of that, there's some players that are kind of like, I'm not sure I'm ready to go back. I'm not sure it's going to be safe. PC, you're relaxing with the Natter Day. Shout out to you. You didn't saw Tierra? Wait. You didn't see a spike. Where are you located, Tierra? if we don't see a spike in deaths for corona after all this, yeah, that's the thing. That's the big question. Now, for my state, this is the last couple of days has been the lowest it's been since it started 3 months ago. But we're still social distancing, and in Virginia, you're still required in public. You're supposed to be wearing a mask. It's not that way everywhere. You know, we didn't have the big Memorial Day beach fest and everything else, although some places supposedly have ticked up since Memorial Weekend. But that stuff you don't know for like 2 weeks because it takes that long to really incubate. Ethan, how you doing? Mr. Antoine Wright Myers, how you doing, man? You just don't see. Okay, well, hold it. Okay, well, let me try to explain it to you. Let me try to explain it one more time. Here's the thing, Antoine. This is my theory myself, and I've been trying to run it through and think how it's going to work. Because at first I was kind of like, if you're Dak Prescott, you should run and sign this contract because the salary cap may go down. But here's the thing. First of all, the NFL and the NFLPA recognize that we're going to get more money because of the renegotiations of television contracts. You can best believe that if they have a season, that viewership will not go down this year. If anything, it will go way up, even if they are half open or partially open. Everybody's going to be watching football on TV. I know I will be. So that means the networks are going to be able to sell more ad time and so on. And the NFL, when they go to negotiate in 2021, they can say, hey, look how many more people. They had a 35% increase in the draft. So the NFL knows this. So the whole scenario I gave you, Antoine, was if the salary cap took a nice nosedive, but it's not going to. So the NFL and the NFLPA look at that because they originally negotiated and they said, listen, NFLPA, we'll give you a bigger share. Travis, not Austin, Powers, thank you very much for that super chat. I just hope we can have a season concentrated on football, not political agendas. Football needs to bring what brings us back together, and it has the power to do so. Amen, 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 amen. Football always was something that was about change and bringing us all together. So shout out to you, Travis. Thank you very much for that super chat. So the NFL and the NFLPA, they basically told the NFL Players Association, signing this deal, the estimated growth will be $500 billion over 10 years. That's it. I'm sorry. Excuse me. $5 billion more. $5 billion over 10 years increase in money because of this new contract, because they're going to get the money from the television contract, because they're going to get money because there's another week to the season, because there's going to be more playoff games, because they're going to be streaming games, because they're going to be using gambling money. All of these things are going to increase the revenue, and the NFL knows it's going to blow up. So what they're doing is they're basically saying, because what they said is basically if you take $5 billion over 10 years, that's $500 million a year that will go towards NFL salaries. Stuart Moore said, thank you very much. I appreciate that. So they're saying, okay, if we didn't have this pandemic, the salary cap would be probably going up about $25 million next year, and say $25 million the next year, $25 million the next year. So let's just assume over the course of 5 years that we'll say we'll be on the low side of it. We'll say that it would go up $100 million. So they'll divide that up over 5 years, and they'll say, okay, so what we'll do is we'll just increase the salary cap by $20 million. That's a possible scenario, because if they ended up dropping it, actually making it exactly what comes in for this 1 year, they drop the salary cap by $40 million. It hurts everybody, because then all of a sudden everybody's got to gut the teams. You're going to have too many players on the street. Nobody's going to have any money to be able to sign any of these players. And that would be bad for the product. So they're not going to do it. However, if they were to do it, that's the key on this, Antoine, okay? If they were to do it, if you're Dak Prescott, those rules won't apply to what happened with the salary cap, with the franchise tag. Because you signed a franchise tag that's going to pay you $32 million, well, just about $32 million for this year. And because you're on that, if the Cowboys decide they have to use that again next year, it's still that $37.5 million. So right there, you've got those two hard numbers. Hypothetically, if the salary cap dropped by $40 million, basically that would take them right at zero money left over with the people they have under contract right now. You can't take another $37 million on a franchise tag. And Dak can say, I'm not taking $10 million a year. In which case, you have to let him walk. So that gives the incentive for the Dallas Cowboys to go ahead and get that job done. Because what you can do is the guaranteed money, signing bonus. You could make next year's salary cap $2 million. And this is where you look at it and say, okay, we can go ahead and be proactive on this contract, make these first 2 years dirt cheap, just in case we can't get a deal done, and then pump it up then after the effect. Because regardless, you're already at $31 million. You add 37, you're basically paying that $35 million right there for 2 years, and you don't have anything to hold him. And from that point, after 2 years, if you franchise tag him twice, you try and franchise tag him a third time, it's going to be upper 40s. Or it's going to be after Pat Mahomes and Deshaun Watson get paid. So then you're screwed. So that's why you look at, or at least the way I look at it. And again, Antoine, I'm just a guy with a day job of voodoo. I'm a carpenter. I'm not a draft expert. I'm not a capologist. I don't work for the Dallas Cowboys. I'm just running through in my mind scenarios of what's possible. And to me, you look at that, if you only franchise tag him for 2 years, you're on the chain for $69 million. That's half of what you were already talking about, paying him for 4 years. And you can't get any relief to hide any of that money. Those are hard numbers that won't change. So that's why I gave you that view, or at least that's my take on it and my view on that. So we'll have to wait and see. Free Donovan Wilson, let him play. Well, that's one of those things that when you start thinking about Jamal Adams and everything else, if you have Wilson in there, because people are pretty high on him. Now, we don't know exactly the new defensive coordinators and stuff, what their thoughts are, but you're hearing a lot of people that are expecting him to be able to take, another step in things, and he's definitely excited about it. Maybe Dak wants his money now so he can take the team-friendly deal later. That's a possibility. Well, if he's true, that's a possibility. But, when we think about Russell Wilson, who took 35, Russell Wilson, it wasn't like he was, in Dak's shoes. Russell Wilson was already coming off an $80-some million contract and ended up getting a boatload. Take a look at Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins had the first guaranteed contract at $88 million, and after 2 years got 2 more years put on it at $33 million a year. That guy, if he plays regardless of whether he plays or not, he's going to make over $200 million. Kirk freaking Cousins. Okay? But we're talking about a guy, Dak, who's only gotten 4. And anybody who's saying this guy is, is greedy, come on, man. You say, Miss Jackie, they're always getting it wrong. Well, for me, here's one of those telling things. It's kind of almost funny. Because you guys have been so trained. People have been so trained that Dak sucks. Dak Prescott is not a franchise guy. And you know the narrative we always get from ESPN. ESPN is always Dak is garbage. Dak's not a top 10 quarterback. Dak Prescott, don't pay him or anything else. But it's funny that ESPN has their little draft thing, right? Here's the draft. They always trash Dak, right? So let's go through the order of their draft. This is what they're saying. If you're building teams, if you're drafting teams, this is who you want. So, first of all would be Cincinnati. They take Pat Mahomes. Washington Redskins would take Russell Wilson. That would be sad because the Redskins always kill quarterback. You know, if you're a quarterback and you go to Washington, you know your days are numbered. You know your days are. I mean, just look. Donovan McNabb, gone. Look at RG3, gone. Kirk Cousins was lucky to get out the building. Look at Alex Smith. Alex Smith played how many years and never really got hurt? Goes to Washington, gets just busted up. It's the place that quarterbacks just go to die. The Detroit Lions, Lamar Jackson. So you got 3 quarterbacks right there. The New York Giants, Deshaun Watson. Okay. The Dolphins, Aaron Donald. Can't lose with an Aaron Donald. You just can't. Chargers, Ronnie Staley. Carolina, Joey Bosa. Arizona, Drew Brees. So that's 5 quarterbacks there, right? Right? And then they say Jacksonville would take Dak Prescott. So ESPN, after always talking that Dak Prescott is trash, he's garbage. You know, he can't, he needs people around him and stuff. It's funny that in their own poll, they have him as the 5th best quarterback. And that's ahead of Carson Wentz, too. And Aaron Rodgers. I mean, let's keep going down the list here. So then Cleveland, Nick Bosa. The Jets, Carson Wentz. Raiders. God, that looks weird. Doesn't it look weird with Las Vegas? It's kind of like L.A. Chargers. It just doesn't. It just fucks with my brain. Aaron Rodgers to the Raiders. Joe Burrow to Indianapolis. Tom Brady to Tampa Bay. Drew Luck to Denver. Matty Ice to Atlanta. Wow. Matty Ice that far down below Dak? Are you kidding me? Kyler Murray to the Cowboys. Teddy Bridgewater to Pittsburgh. Jimmy Garoppolo to Chicago. Rams, Christian McCaffrey. Philadelphia, Baker Mayfield. Damn, do they even have Jared Goff on this? Michael Thomas to Buffalo. Sam Darnold to New England. Khalil Mack to New Orleans. Ryan Tannehill to Minnesota, Hopkins to Houston, Mike Evans to Seattle, Matthew Stafford to Baltimore, Tyreek Hill to Tennessee, Tua to Green Bay, George Kittle to San Francisco, and Stephon Gilmore to Kansas City. So they don't even have Jared Goff in the first round. Wow.
I didn't hear Wentz's name either.
Wentz is right after Dak. He is actually 11th. Dak is 9th. That's kind of now. That's okay. Now again, that's ESPN. Who would you trade for? Who would I trade for at this moment? Depends on. Depends on how much compensation you're talking about. If you could get Jamal Adams for a 2nd or less, I would consider doing that. I don't know that I'd want to give a 1st and a 3rd like it's been rumored and so forth. But I give up a number 1 and a 3rd for Aaron Donald. How about that? Could you imagine Hopkins playing for Houston? Well, we didn't have to imagine. He used to play for Houston. Daniel Jones to be why? VJ27, whoa, come on, man. Come on. VCJ27, welcome to the channel. You're new here. I don't think I've seen you here before, but come on, man. How do you see Danny Dimes top 10 quarterback right now? Come on, man. I know I'm a homer with Dak Prescott, but at least Dak has been in there, at least has some numbers. The only thing that Danny Jones has led the league in is fumbles. Come on, man. And that's only slightly ahead of Carson Wentz. And that was in less games, too. Yes, they have Dan the Man, our Cowboys, always making everything so damn hard. Well, I'm a homer. We know I'm a homer. We know I'm a Dak Prescott fan, okay? So, take that with a grain of salt. I try to be fair. Antoine, Mr. Right. We don't need Adams. If you're not paying Dak now, what makes people think they're going to pay Dak and Adams? Well, it's funny that you say Dak. Well, they didn't seem to have a problem paying D-Law. They didn't seem to have a problem paying Lyle Collins. Didn't seem to have a problem paying Zeke Elliott. I actually let's back this up. Let's think about this though. Can you name a season that we haven't had some kind of off the field drama with Jerry Jones? I mean, seriously. We always have something that keeps the Dallas Cowboys in the news and keeps them relevant. Now, do you honestly think that the Cowboys end up doing that video, from the team, and Dak Prescott is the prominent figure in there? Jerry's not in there. Stephen Jones is not in there. Nobody else is in there. It's basically Dak Prescott taking the bullets for the team, or at least checking to make sure that the water's not too cold. Dak Prescott, whether you like it or not, is the face of the Dallas Cowboys. It's the truth. You can all say that he doesn't do this. Come on, man. If you use the same measuring stick on anybody else out there, Mr. Antoine Myers, true. Oh, they're going to get. Here's the thing. Thank you for that super chat, man. Yeah, I tell you what, Antoine, I'm about to send you something, man. Antoine, you spend a lot of cheddar up in here. I'm not complaining, but make sure you got plenty of money just in case some more shit happens. We're not even halfway through 2020. 2020's been a biatch, okay? So just make sure. I appreciate it. I can use it, definitely can use it, but don't spend all your money. You're true. That's true. The 2 salaries, but what they've kind of looked at right now is, let's get Dax done, and then we'll talk about other stuff. Because here's the thing. As we go through, let me pull this out. Okay, good. I still have it. Our Cowboys right now, we got $11.25 million. And that's paying Dak Prescott at 31. If they were to go ahead and get him his long-term deal, and this is where it just doesn't make any sense why you don't, they're not going to be paying $31.2 million this year. It's going to be more like $20 million for this year, which means then you're talking about another $10 to $12 million going on your cap. So that means you've got $24 million left over. And you start weighing options, because even with that 24, there's still more money that's going to come back. You've got to still finish paying the rookies out of that, but you're also going to get money from the guys that you've signed. Give you an example, Cooper Rush. You signed him to a $2 million deal. Well, guess what? When you cut Cooper Rush and the season had started, you got that $2 million back, and you use that for Redhead. Damn. I'm having a brain fart here. The guy that everybody thinks is going to replace Dak Prescott. So, and to see Carolina Cowboy, that was going to be my thing. The way you look at it is, as much as you like somebody, understand the bottom line is this is a business. As much as you say you're family, you're a part of us, you're a team captain, you cut Dez Bryant, didn't you? You cut DeMarcus Ware, didn't you? Didn't you? Didn't these Cowboys cut DeMarcus Ware and Dez Bryant? I'm just saying. Didn't you let DeMarco Murray go? So, if that's the case, what says that they don't Tyrone Crawford? Tyrone Crawford's $9 million. And you got to say, and it's just like in your own house. You look at bills, or at least I do. I got a whole lot of bills and I ain't got enough money. Well, if we go ahead and take the cable bill and we get rid of HBO, Showtime, and Cinemax, that drops the bill by $50. That $50, we can use that towards, paying the car insurance. Because you got to look at it. Is it more important for me to have car insurance or me to be able to have HBO? Howard Floyd, thank you very much for that super chat. And so you look at it, that's Tyrone Crawford. We like having Tyrone Crawford. He's been a team captain. He's been a leader. But that's $9 million. If I take that $9 million, if that's the majority of the money I have to pay Jamal Adams, do I need another defensive lineman or do I need a safety? And I'm not suggesting that we cut. Don't get me wrong, because Tyrone Crawford, You know, you're my dog. You know, I love you, man. I'm just telling people the realities of football. They went the boys. Come on, Mr. Wright. Come on, man. Thank you, Philip. It hasn't sunk in that I finally, the last truck I bought was 2005. Now, that's not a new truck. That truck is 2015, but I needed to get something. Yeah, it's definitely better. Trade him for a second. I'm just saying. But Tyrone Crawford, you only have one, he's only got one more year left on his contract. But, I hear what you're saying, Mr. Wright, but you got to understand, if you cut DeMarcus Ware, and here's the difference. Cowboys 5 rings. Thank you very much. That's super chat, man. Okay, understand. When we cut DeMarcus Ware, he had a $16 million cap hit. We only saved $7 million. So we still had that dead money of $9 million left on the cap. If you cut Tyrone Crawford, you get $9 million and have less than $1 million on there. I'm just saying that's the way. If you cut DeMarcus Ware and end up leaving $9 million in dead money, I'm sorry. You can't feel safe in the NFL. Remember when we had Amesley Battles here?
Oh yeah, when I met your boy too, the other boy that went to the Saints.
How you doing, Akeem Smith? What's up, man? I see you over there on Facebook. He was basically saying, listen, it's nice to make it to the NFL, but there is nothing guaranteed.
He said one guy got cut and brought back 10 times.
Right. A guy got cut and brought back 10 times in one season. It was so bad that one time a guy got cut and they forgot to tell him that he got cut. Dude comes in for practice and he's sitting down in there and he's putting on his shoes and his shoes don't fit. He's like, what the hell? Other guy comes in and says, yo, man, what you doing? He's like, I'm getting ready for practice. He said, evidently you're not. You in my locker. So then he looks up like, oh, they done changed the name. You're out again. So understand, football is a cold-blooded business. Emerson Griffin got let go, didn't he? I cannot pronounce that. Papelli. Hello, how are you doing? Forgive me, I'm a name butcher, but welcome to the channel. Austin, how you doing? Yep, we need the fear on defense is what Jerry doesn't give us. Well, I feel like you got an offense that's good enough. I'm sorry, you got playmakers throughout on the offense. You got guys that should be almost like a video game. Between Zeke Elliott, hopefully, he's got paid. He ain't going to Cabo, that he's going to be looking to step up his game again like he maybe was before, hopefully. You got Dak Prescott. If he's on that franchise tag, he's going to be balling out because he's auditioning for somebody else or to really make the Dallas Cowboys pay. And I hope this doesn't turn into a Kirk Cousins situation where we see him going elsewhere and eventually gets a Super Bowl with somebody else. You got receivers. When have we ever had this many receivers? I mean, I think back to Dez Brown. Even with Dez and Witten. Trying to remember if T.O. was there one year or not with them. That still isn't as good as this. I think of course, Michael Irvin and Alvin Harper. Alvin Harper's great going across the middle, and you had Jay Novacek. I don't know that was better than what you potentially have in here with CeeDee Lamb added to the mix. You got the running back. You got the receivers. You got a really good offensive line. I mean, and I think Blake Jarwin is going to be stepping it up a lot more. We're going to get more production than we had with Jason Witten because Jason Witten, let's be honest, Jason Witten had just gotten old. So I'm sitting here thinking, where is your holes in offense? And now you don't have Jason Garrett screwing up the play calling. It's a cutthroat business. Thomas Garrett, you ain't lying about that. Me, the PC, it's just ridiculous. Good, thanks, and how are you? I'm from Madrid. Oh, from Spain. Well, hello. If you're in Spain, shoot, it's up. You're up kind of late, aren't you? Because you're about 6 hours behind. It's like 3 o'clock in the morning, isn't it? Or 4 o'clock in the morning. Well, welcome to the show. Madrid. Madrid is Spain, right? Right? Yeah, I think Madrid's. Miss Anita, hi, you're late. Oh, it's okay. Hey, well, Miss Anita, the party don't start till you walk in. Okay. Nice to see you again, Howard Floyd. How you been, Gerald Floyd, Tony Hill, Drew Pearson, and Butch Johnson. That was really good. But yeah. Tony Thrillhill, Butch Johnson. Damn, yeah, that was pretty good. The new triplet. But see, you got more than triplets here. Because Carl, you almost have triplets and wide receivers. Just think about that. Michael Gallup took if it's in Spain, yeah, right. Madrid is, okay, listen, it's been a long day, okay? It's been a rough day, okay? Forgive me, okay? Are you, you're from Spain, are you a football fan? Miss Anita, Q. Oh, look at Q. Now I forgot my thought here. But when you're thinking about that, yeah, that was good. But you got to also look at the era now, because we didn't pass that much back in the day. Not like you do now, because back then it was like 3 yards in a cloud of dust. They all did really well. I agree with Beasley, Hill, Butch, and John. That was good, but, well, we don't know. Okay, let's not get ourselves ahead of ourselves now. Okay, Michael Gallup is still just getting ready to start his third year. But we look at the trajectory that he's going on. He's been doing really, really well. If he continues on that same plateau and stops dropping balls that are right here, the sky's the limit. CeeDee Lamb, we don't know jack about. CeeDee Lamb could end up being like Mary's lamb. Little lamb, we don't know. He has potential to be really good. Amari Cooper, I still believe Amari Cooper last year was hurt a lot more than was let on. Because remember, he couldn't practice in training camp. He had the plantar fasciitis. And when you get an injury, I'm going to give a pass to Carson Wentz. Because Carson Wentz coming back from, yeah, I was going to say, I thought it would be about 4 o'clock in the morning. Good Lord. What are you doing up so late? But I appreciate you coming in here, she started her, I guess getting up. So nice to see you. Subscribe and come check us out again. Anything you want to know about football, you can find out right here, and make sure you become a Dallas Cowboy fan, okay? Because we are America's team. So you're looking at a lot of potential. But see, Amari Cooper, like I said, I think he was hurt a lot worse. So when you look at Carson Wentz, I want you to think about this now. Carson Wentz coming back from the knee injury. When you hurt your knee, and I know because I came back without an ACL, you have a tendency to kind of protect that leg because you're not really sure. And until you get that first hit, you really aren't sure. And what happens is because you're kind of favoring that leg and doing things differently, you start kind of misaligning things. And it's possible that misalignment could end up being the problem with his back, which led to the back injury. Robert, thank you very much for that super chat. Mark, I hate my life right now without football. Oh, Robert, man, dog. If we don't have a football season, I don't even want to think about not having football. But see, we don't normally have football though right now anyway, though, Robert, this is how it usually is though. I mean, we got OTAs, but that's not really football. We just getting a little highlight here and there. So we ain't really missed nothing yet. Now, if you're a baseball fan or a basketball fan, I can understand that you're hating life. But see, I'm not invested in those sports. I am just that football guy, okay? We have the Fatal Five. There, Vince. Oh, I like that. The Fatal Five. Damn. That's fire. Oh, okay. I get forgetful. I was supposed to do this on Friday. Okay, so Ivy ordered one of the racks, okay? And Ivy wanted a cherry rack, right? So I sent a message to Ivy. I said, Ivy, do you want the rack done natural, so it's not stained, or do you want me to stain it? And he said, no, I want natural. So I sent it to him natural. And then he got it, he said, I kind of want to stain. So I was like, okay. I was like, damn, okay. So I said, no problem, I can do that. So he sent it back. And I got it, and I've already remade it. And it went, when did those go out? Today? Okay, so it went out, it's on its way. Little touchdown, thank you very much. That's super chat. You will worry less about Sean Lee's injury issues again? No, because Sean Lee is usually good 2 years after having injuries, for 2 years. Marcus Ray, thank you very much. That's super chat. He actually played really, really well, and I believe was second in the team of tackles. But anyway, Ivy, shout out Ivy. It's on the way. It's on the way. It got picked up today, the return. But in the box with the rack, he sent me this. Boom. 22? Oh, but it's not who you think it is. It is Bob Bullet Hayes, Hall of Famer. And you talk about great. This is when the Dallas Cowboys used to be innovators. Understand that Tom Landry was a genius, but you still have to have horses in the race. And this is where the Dallas Cowboys started figuring out, where can we get players that are better than anybody else? Where's the new stream of getting guys? So they went to small black schools and found guys. They went and they looked at Bob Bullet Hayes, fastest man in the world, track star. I know he's not a football player, but he's fast. And they brought him in, and he's in Canton right now. So shout out to you, Ivy. And also, Tony. Tony sent me this. Let's see if I can get this open without some scissors. It's amazing how they get these plastic things. They're held to open up. Said he was sending me a t-shirt. Oh, let's see, t-shirt. Okay. Trinity. I see the Red Cross in the front of there. There we go. Trinity Church. Okay, cool. Tone. Thank you. That jersey is a collector's item. Yeah, I got to. I'm gonna have to get make a rack for it to go on and put it up here. Shout out to Bob Bullet Hayes. Thank you very much, Herb Floyd. Thing is, I was still around. Hey, I was around when he was playing. That's how old I am. But I appreciate, man, everything everybody does and stuff, helping support the channel and stuff. And thank everybody who's been congratulating on me finally getting another truck, because my other truck, Big Red, y'all been making fun of. I know y'all been making fun of it. I know it's been like Sanford and Sons truck, but I'm keeping I'm gonna keep the red truck. I'm gonna keep the red truck. I'm gonna keep it on the road, and I'm gonna put it down there with the red brick house. The red brick house, I'm going to be getting started on. In fact, I'm going down the country tomorrow because I got to take care of some business stuff on there. Because the red brick house, well, you're going to sleep. I'm glad I could talk to you. Well, take care. I wish I could pronounce your name. Pufillici? Pufillici? I can't. Okay. But we appreciate you coming here. Thank you very much for coming in. PC, man, get that Natterday PC. But I'm gonna get started on the red brick house, and here's my awakening. Okay, you gonna hear. You know, I'm an old soul, so to speak. I have this red brick house that was going to be torn down. And because of the power of social media, see, this is the thing that's crazy. Social media is incredible and it's dangerous as hell at the same time. You have to understand, because I'm so old, Gabriella is your real name? Oh, see, why you want to mess with me like that? Why you want to put a name like that up there and get me all flustered trying to figure out how to say it, and your real name is Gabrielle? I know Gabrielle, I can say that one. Gee. See, that's what y'all kill me with these different names and stuff. Come on, girl. Come on now. So, anyway, They were going to tear this house down because it used to belong to the, or did belong to the city. They built a new Walmart grocery store across the street, and it was basically falling apart. And they said, you know, we don't want to put the money into it. So they were going to tear it down. This group of old people decided we're going to be the Red Brick House Committee and try and save it, and they had no clue as to what to do. Little touchdown. Thank you very much. I hope you're not turning into a Philly fan. What? What? Howard Floyd. I saw the 71-72 Super Bowls on TV. You and me both, Howard? You and me both. That's what your friends... Okay. Are they drunk when they call you that? Gabriella is a whole lot easier. But anyway, make a long story short, I did a post on Facebook that kind of went viral, okay? People who used to live in the house at one point or the other started commenting and things. And the next thing I know, I'm from the city council speaking to them about saving history. And so they basically said, okay, you want to save history? Boom, here's the house. Save it now. And so the course of the last 4 years, I haven't been able to do much with it. I stabilized it so it wouldn't fall down. And we ended up doing some of the demo and stuff, so we basically gutted it out. So it's just kind of like a shell right now. But I realized, because this is the 200th anniversary of the house, that this house, this red brick house, is like a symbol of where America is right now. America is kind of battered. It's kind of bruised. It's got some rotted wood. It needs to be fixed up. America right now is a fixer-upper. Am I right? Because if you don't take care of your house, and Q, get those gutters on your house, Q. I'm telling you, Q, you need them damn gutters. You tell your wife I said you need them gutters. I'm sorry, I digress. But if you don't take care of the little things in your house, if you got a termite infestation, okay, you got termites eating the wood, if you don't get rid of those termites, they're going to eat the place down. It's going to fall apart. If you don't point up the bricks, okay, you don't point up the bricks, they're going to start leaking. You got to paint the walls. You have to take care of the house so the house can take care of you. And that's our country right now. We got some rotted wood. We need some painting. We need to point up the bricks. And so I'm working on getting myself in a position where we can start working on that. And I'm hoping they're working on getting my plans together, and I'm going to be working on a permit. I actually ended up getting myself in more debt because I got another truck that I can go back and forth down the road with. That'll be reliable. And we're going to start fixing the red brick house. And I'm hoping that we all together, all of us, yes, I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you over there. Yeah, that's right. Don't hide. I'm telling you. And I'm talking to you. I'm sorry. I'm talking to you over there too. It's going to take all of us together to fix this house. Seriously. And I'm not talking about the red brick house. I'm talking about this country. We all got to get together and start fixing the shit. Because if we don't, this house is going to crumble. It's going to get bulldozed over. It's going to get condemned. All right? Now, it's after 10. I got to get up early in the morning because I got to do some work, but I'll show you some more pictures of the red brick house. And right now, with everything that's going on in the world, get your shot glass ready. And I'm working on the new shot glasses. So probably be ordering those sometime in the next week or so. So be looking out for the new shot glasses. And before we go, let's have... I can't believe it. Where are all the Eagle fans tonight? Howard Floyd, thank you very much for the super chat. You know what? Okay. I'm gonna say one thing real quick because you're right. Who's not in debt right now? People who already had money. You got billionaires that are making more and more money, and see, this is where I'm just going to be on the soapbox for just a second here before we do the shots on here. Here's the thing that you have to understand that's a difference. The government went through and they got a couple of $1 trillion to help out small businesses. I'm a small business. I applied for help because I want to try and keep my construction business going. Couldn't help me. They go through, they drop the interest rates down to 0. So if you have good credit, you can refinance. You can save yourself some money. Or if you have good credit, you can borrow some money. You can go do some things. If you don't have the economic opportunity or have the assets or the credit to do that, if you were already living paycheck to paycheck, okay, and now you are unemployed, you can't go take advantage of those things. And that's the thing that people don't seem to understand. And that's where I say you have to understand that when it comes to economic upheaval, when it comes to all these things, the people that are getting hurt are all of us down here. While, as they always say, the rich get richer. And that's why we all need to stand together for the betterment for everybody. So, before I go, I think we all need a laugh right now. And who better to laugh at than this guy? All right, get your shot glasses ready. All right, this is to all you guys. Thank everybody so much for all the support and everything else. If you became a channel member, there were a couple of them today. Go to the community tab because there's a post in there for channel members only. That'll give you the link so that way Michael.
Or you can go to the join button. It should be unlocked.
Or the join button. It'll tell you too.
It should be unlocked if you already.
All right, so that and cowboyjoeboo.com if you want to get any of the racks and stuff. All right, as always, thank you very much. But it's time to turn out the lights because this party's over.
Turn out the lights, the party's over. They say that all good things must end. Call it a night, the party's over. And tomorrow and next year starts the same old thing again.